Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and beer.
And beer.
And head colds.
And a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is the start of the two-part episode that we've been teasing the past couple of weeks. Although our little surprise we have for you that kind of fell through. We had somebody that we were trying to get on who was, let's just say, they would have a unique perspective on this case, but it wasn't able to work out. So it is what it is. So you're just stuck with the two of us anyway. That's Kevin.
Yep, that's me. If I sound sick, it's because I am. So.
And who am I?
Bill. Bill.
You're supposed
hey,
to
Bill.
say, that's Bill. Anyway.
Oh, sorry. Like I said, I'm.
Oh, come on.
I'm not in a good way at the moment.
I did episode 11 with COVID. Yeah. Well, I had a pretty bad. COVID and Bud Light. The winning combination right there. And tell us about your podcast, because I know we didn't talk much about that last week. That was a fun ass episode though.
Oh, so I run the History Goon podcast. If you couldn't tell by my name on the thing here,
that doesn't come through on the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So if you're looking to learn history from a guy that looks like he'd drink beer with your dad in the garage, but also would talk to you like your shop teacher would, I'm your guy. Because,
nice.
I don't hold back on how I say things. I have upset people because I don't sugarcoat history. And I will just tell you, I take sides on stuff. I think communism is terrible and a stupid thing.
Or, for example, you're willing to tell people that at the Battle of Gettysburg, had there not been a bayonet charge, the Confederates could have easily won the war.
Yeah, you want to know who led that bayonet charge?
Who?
A bunch of shoeless hillbillies from Vermont.
Well, the order was given by a commander who had a good idea.
Yeah, and actually the other fun one was Pickett, General Pickett, the Confederate general that essentially ran the last charge of the Confederacy at Gettysburg, went into the overall commander's tent and was trying to get permission to do this, even though it was a horrible idea for the Confederacy. And anybody watching on video, I'm going to show you exactly what it read as, this guy did, was Pickett went in and said, I want to do a charge, and the overall commander, waved his hand at it. It looked like he was waving his hand at him to say, yeah, go for it. He was waving off a hornet that was in his face. And that lost the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah. History is better. History is better. That hornet saved America as we know it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a neat book out there called Napoleon's Hemorrhoids. If you are at all into history and just weird shit that has changed the course of the world, pick up a copy of it. It is wild. I think I actually have more than one physical copy of that book.
Oh, nice.
That's how much I like it.
Anyway, we're hashtag, but I digress. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's a good information. I was not aware that the hornet should be a revered icon in the country.
Yep.
So.
And if you go to Gettysburg, because of what Vermonters did there, they actually have the second largest monument on the battlefield after Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right, Vermont guy.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Guys showed up. They called them the Fire Eaters because they literally walked into the middle of the shit show and walked out of it on the other side. And then
no mention of hornets?
Nope.
Damn.
Didn't need them.
There should be a frickin' mention of a hornet somewhere, other than careful, watch out for hornets. But there should be some mention of a hornet somewhere at Gettysburg. I need to send them an email. So anyway,
dear Gettysburg.
Anyway, hashtag, but I digress. Right out of the gate. So what we're doing, and those of you who are watching video already know what we're doing. Oh, actually, anybody who clicked on the episode knows what we're doing. So, this is part one of a two-part on Paul Bernardo and Karla Homolka, a.k.a. the Ken and Barbie killers.
Hooray!
Yay! I had, this case has been on my list for a long time because of a little idea that I had of something to do with this, and it's not the idea that had been screwed up for the past month. That wasn't the idea. A different idea, but that's not going to take place in part 1. It'll take place in part 2. So, in what may be the fastest put a knife in that in the history of CKCB, put a knife in that. Paul and Karla Homolka, they were the good-looking couple from, good-looking, air quotes, good-looking, because that's...
Good-looking for, like, the late 70s, early 80s.
Well, Karla Homolka's gorgeous and everything, but a lot, too much emphasis has been put on their looks, hence the name Ken and Barbie killers.
Yeah.
I mean, in real life, had Paul Bernardo actually been Ken, no woman would have gotten raped because he wouldn't have had a dick.
That's true. That's true.
But
I was going to make a crack about them, like, yeah, they're attractive for Canadians, but, that's just mean.
But Paul Bernardo indeed does have a dick, and he used it quite...
It is a dick.
It is a dick. And he, used it a lot. He, with the help of Karla, on some of his attacks, he killed 3 women, including Karla's younger sister. He raped 14 women confirmed, and is known to have attempted rape at least 6 more, both in Canada. The majority of them was in Canada, and some in the U.S. And this led to a joint task force operation between both countries to find this dick.
They were in, like, Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we worked together to catch this guy. Come on, Canada. We can air out. We function well, and in fact, yesterday, one of the astronauts that came back on the Artemis was, obviously a Canadian. So, when we work together, we work well. So let's put aside our differences, our political differences, and go, and get back to business. Just, us citizens.
It's super weird. You mentioned astronauts. There's something about, like, Canada, Michigan, and Indiana. It seems like they are the only places that produce, like, North American astronauts for some reason. Because, like, at the beginning of season 2 for my show, I did the Challenger, and I want to say it was like 75% of the people on that thing were from either Michigan or Indiana. It's insane. I don't understand what it is.
I don't know.
You guys have nothing better to do than dream about space travel?
I did not know that, but then again, if I lived in Indiana or Michigan, I'd probably want to jump on a rocket ship and get the hell out of there.
Hey man, Indiana seems cool, but it's like, I can understand wanting to be on a different planet because your sports teams are all bad,
Well, not only that, every single I know what it is. Every person that lives in Indiana swears they've been to the moon because of how the shape of the roads in 99% of the state are. Paul was known, in addition to Ken of the Ken and Barbie Killers, as the Scarborough Rapist, and
what a title,
and the Schoolgirl Killer.
Oh,
he was also a wannabe '90s rapper, and his rap name was it was not Deadly Innocence. I found out later.
Oh Christ!
That was the
That's
name
awful.
That was the name of a song. Young Hype was his.
Oh come on!
Was his actual rapper
name?
Dude,
you are white. Like, knock it off.
Young Hype.
You're not even the best white Canadian rapper, because this guy's clearly never heard of J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys.
Sources on the documentary Very Scary People, Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2, and Wiki, and I used some more stuff, but I forgot to put them in my notes. So I'm sure most of our audience knows this case, so we're just going to get started with our own take on it. Sound like a plan?
Sure.
All right, here we go. We'll start with Paul Bernardo. Born August 27th, 1964 in Scarborough, Ontario. He was the youngest of 3 kids born to Kenneth Walter, Marilyn Elizabeth, Kenneth Walter and Marilyn Elizabeth Bernardo. Right out of the gate, his dad was a piece of shit.
Okay, so we know where it came from a little bit.
Yeah. He often abused Paul's sister, Deborah. And to top it off, he would do this in front of other family members, including Paul.
Nice.
Yeah. Right out of the gate, I'm reminded of Peter Curtin's origin story.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to that, yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth would eventually be charged with pedophilia and voyeurism, and when he was released, he tried to capitalize on Paul's crimes, offering the story to TV and movie studios, but nobody took him up on it.
I want to make money off my suffering, damn it.
But as far as Kenneth is concerned, let's just say put a knife in that, and it won't be very. It's not a long wait for this knife. His mother Marilyn suffered from depression and agoraphobia, likely due to abuse from Kenneth and having to watch everything happen. And she at one
agoraphobia is fear of crowds, right?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
But she at one point moved into the basement and lived there and just, was a hermit.
A cellar dweller.
Cellar dweller.
Damn.
On the surface, Paul was a well-rounded kid, but in reality it was much worse, and how could he not be with Kenneth as a role model?
Yeah, I mean...
Paul was in the Scouts Canada, which is an association which, quote, provides programs for young peoples aged 5 to 26. It aims to help develop well-rounded youth better prepared for success in the world. Mission accomplished?
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe like a mentor program kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a big brothers, big sisters, potential sex pest criminal thing.
Maybe.
Because I think that's similar to the one that Mark Lapine was part of.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Where, he was disappointed that the guy that was molesting people that was also his mentor never bothered him, apparently.
Right. But
why didn't he molest me?
Yeah. But Paul was a pyromaniac, and he had some really dark sexual fantasies. The most disturbing and telling was that he wanted to create a virgin farm where he would breed virgin girls to rape.
Huh. I've never heard that detail before. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. When he was 16, his parents got into a particularly bad fight, and his mother told Paul that he was the result of an affair that she had had, and that Kenneth was not his real father.
Oh. I'm sure that made Kenneth very happy to hear.
Doesn't really say, but Paul took the news by calling her a slut and a whore. And not to be outdone, Marilyn fired back at Paul, calling him a bastard from hell, and apparently this was true.
Bastard from hell. That is the most Canadian insult. Because it still sounds like some British Empire shit, which, close enough, I guess, at this point, but...
Yeah, but...
Bastard from hell.
But still, I mean, if the shoe fits, I mean, look at what this guy becomes. I mean...
Yeah, that's true.
Paul got his first girlfriend around that time, and she got tired of him trying to dominate her, so she kicked him to the curb. Paul got butthurt and vowed that he'd be a good man from that point on, and he serenaded her with Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie in an attempt to win her back.
Jesus Christ.
No.
The only thing I can think of whenever I hear that song is
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah. The Zamboni driver. Oh God!
But no, that didn't happen. He burned everything of hers that he could get his grubby little hands on, and he never saw her again. So.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
In 1982, he attended the University of Toronto Scarborough, where he majored in accounting, where he would later get a job doing. Ironically enough, there was another future scumbag and killer in here, just 2 years behind him. Take a guess.
An accountant in Canada that was a serial killer.
Oh, he wasn't a serial killer. He was a killer. A future scumbag and killer.
Not sure.
Russell Williams.
Oh, okay. I would have thought that he was in... what year was this?
82.
So I'm wondering if this was like a college course that he was taking that the military was paying for.
Probably.
Because he was definitely in by then.
Yeah. But, yeah, we might have to cover him at some point. In fact,
Ugh.
well, he is kind of on my list. Literally, I'm looking at my list right now, and he is on it. Because of this case.
Yeah.
Are we starting a Canada binge part 2?
I don't know, man. Actually, you mentioned looking at your list, and I just looked up at mine and went, oh my God, it's blank because I'm ending the season. Oh, no.
Paul and his buddies were pretty successful pickup artists using stupid pickup lines on women in bars that actually worked.
Okay.
I'll give you a kiss, and if you don't like it, you can return it, eh?
Oh.
I don't want to initiate this conversation by saying you're beautiful because beauty is on the inside, and I haven't been inside you yet, eh?
Oh. Oh.
You might be busy, but can you add me to your to-do list tonight, eh?
Oh, for fuck's sake. These are making me want to make Homelander face. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Are you an orphanage? Because I just want to give you my kids.
Ah, this cringy fuck. Oh my God. Okay, so this is low percentage. So this is accuracy by volume is how the military would categorize this.
Oh, these aren't real. I just looked up the bad pickup lines.
No, but if he's using shit like this, which he probably was, let's be real. This is you're just firing into the weeds and hoping you hit something.
Yeah.
And
well, we've all been there. We've all been there. I know I have. Oh, man. Are those space pants? Because your ass is out of this world.
Good Lord.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live skit with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Space pants. I'm wearing space pants. Why that one isn't up there in the same conversation with more cowbell is beyond me. Because that skit was that particular skit was brilliant. But seriously though, Paul had game. He had lots of one-night stands, and he would rough the women up, and he would give them rough anal sex, whether they wanted it or not.
Nice guy.
Yeah. The woman who actually did date, he would physically abuse in addition to his rough and painful sexual style. He would.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to rough them up if you're going to do the other stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Hand in hand.
I mean, his rap name should have been the Canadian Meat Tenderizer.
Oh. Oh. Hold on here, 1 second, because I'm pretty sure there's a band name. Yep.
I literally just came up. That's not in my notes. I just came up with that one on the fly, and I know you guys just want to take me outside and. After that one,
he could have been the front man for Canadian for Chilean. No, for Chilean black and thrash metal band Anal Destructor.
Oh yeah, I know of that band. But he would also humiliate them in public by comparing.
I've got that in my search history. Jesus Christ!
I'll think of the ads you're about to start getting.
Yeah. I should have been incognito, son of a bitch.
But he would also humiliate them in public by comparing them to and hitting on other women and talking shit about them in front of his friends.
Dude, what? Man. People like this make it hard for people like me to talk to women. Because all I want to do is say, like, hey, how are you? And they're like, ugh.
Yeah, I know.
This guy's a pig. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to be nice.
That's why I went back to a woman who left me 25 years ago and tried to feed me to a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's why.
At this point in time, I'm just like, I might stop even trying, to be honest.
I was almost to that point, and then
It's peaceful.
She and I got back together. She and I started talking again, and I've never been happier. So.
Like, it's peaceful. I'm not accountable to anybody but my son. This is pretty neat, actually.
But relationships obviously wouldn't last very long, and they would usually end when the woman was sick of his shit. And he would react like a little bitch and threaten to kill them if they reported his abuse to the police.
So, I mean, okay, that's gross. But at least he wasn't going the other way of the, I'm going to kill myself if you leave me. Because that is the worst dude ever.
Yeah, agreed.
That is the worst person. Just like, just do it then.
Exactly.
Like, quit talking and just do it.
Yep. So in 1986, he was served with with restraining orders from 2 different women for making nonstop obscene phone calls to them. So he was one of those too.
Nice.
Damn.
Ugh.
Yours actually sounded real.
Well, I'm all stuffed up.
Okay. All right.
Oh, God,
That's what you get. That's what you get. I'm not editing that hack out.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got so much editing to do in the episode I recorded earlier because I coughed so hard I almost passed out at one point.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, haven't done that since I was like a pack and a half a day.
So let's move on to Karla Homolka, shall we?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And for the record, Luca Magnato wants to set the record straight that he is not dating Karla Homolka.
You mean the guy that was like vacuum sealing live cats?
Yeah.
I don't care who he's dating.
Well, when he was trying to when he was doing that thing where he had like 1,000 different Facebook pages and they were all communicating with each other, talking about how awesome Luca Magnato is. At one point, he came up with this thing. He went to a news agency. He was just like, "I'm getting death threats from people because somebody posted out there that I'm dating Karla Homolka, and I'm not dating Karla Homolka."
Well, isn't he gay though?
Yeah.
So why would anybody think that was true?
He was just trying to. He was trying to get anything that would make him famous. I mean,
it's just funny that he'd be like, "I'm not dating her." People are like, "Yeah, no shit." Like we know.
But I just think that was like Karla Homolka wouldn't have spit on him. I mean, it's just
Probably not.
But. Okay, so Karla...
He's a very odd-looking man, too.
He is. But he is devastatingly good-looking.
Is he?
According to him.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Episode 2, y'all. Wow. 2.
God damn, dude.
Episode 2. So Karla Leanne Homolka was born May 4th, 1970 in Mississauga. Mississauga. I think Mississauga. Mississauga. There we go. Ontario. I should have brought out sexy AI voice.
Well, the other thing is, it's kind of like a regional thing where I can pick that stuff up because the tribes that people killed off up here are very similar to the ones that they killed off in Canada. And they're all named after different stuff.
I could just imagine a Canadian podcaster trying to pronounce some of the names of like cities and rivers and stuff like that in Florida.
Oh God.
Mississippi, Ontario. There we go. But it was in a suburb called St. Catharines where she spent the majority of her life as a kid and teenager. So May the 4th, 1970. May the 4th not be with her. But prior to the Barbie look, she was actually a goth chick.
Oh, okay. Well,
and she took it to extreme. She was cutting herself.
Oh yeah, no. I'm more like if you're just into the aesthetic of it, that's fine.
Right.
But if you're like really getting into the Cure and stuff like that, then
But she had two sisters, Tammy and Lori. Karla was the middle sister. Lori was the oldest.
that's why she's a goth chick, because she was the middle sister. Middle children are always forgotten for some reason.
I was the middle kid.
Did you have behavioral issues growing up?
Look at how I was raised.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, because like everybody that I know that was a middle child they're just like out of their minds. You're like, what? Oh, it's because you actually had to do something crazy to get your parents' attention.
Karla was an animal lover, and I'm not just talking about the kind that Pearl Jam sings about, which Paul was, by the way. She worked at pet stores and even a vet's office, but put a knife in that. She aspired to become a veterinarian and have her own clinic, and she would even catch bugs in the house and release them outside because, heaven forbid, she hurt or killed a poor little bug.
Some bugs. I like spiders. I won't kill them.
Yeah, spiders I'll put outside.
Yeah, unless they're wolf spiders, then that's a home invader, and they get exactly what they deserve.
Nah, just put a bucket. Just put a bucket on top of them, slide a piece of paper underneath it, get them outside, and just take them out that way. That's how I deal with wolf spiders. But
so my thing is we also have brown recluse up here, and they look similar enough that
brown recluses are tiny.
But similar body color and
yeah, I'll give you that
shape.
They could be like baby wolf spiders.
Yeah, so I just don't take chances. I'm like, nah, I don't need my feet falling off.
I've been bit by a brown recluse.
Fuck that.
In my armpit.
Fuck that.
But hamsters, though, that's another story. You
get bit by a hamster?
Oh yeah, of course I've been. Who hasn't been bit by a hamster?
I've never been bit by a hamster.
Oh. No.
Richard Gere may have been bit somewhere by a hamster.
That was a gerbil.
Or was that a gerbil?
but she would catch the bugs in her house and release them. Hamsters are another story, though. She had a pet hamster, and she wanted to see if it could fly. So she made a makeshift parachute and attached the hamster to it, and just opened the bedroom door and just threw it outside. The chute didn't. The chute didn't open, and alas, the hamster is no more.
That's okay. So, I did similar stuff like that as a kid, but not with hamsters. Like I would make parachutes out of like yarn and plastic bags for my GI Joes and shit. So
did I.
And just like
chunk them.
Huck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she
never did that with a hamster though.
Yeah. Shit. Those model rockets that you can launch and everything.
Oh hell yeah.
There was one called the Nova, where it was about maybe 2 feet long, and attached to the cone there was this little plastic tube that attached to the fuselage of the rocket.
Yep.
In that plastic tube, you could put little things up. Like it was made for like little cameras at the time, and everything. And I'm talking about the mid '80s here.
Right.
It was made for you. You could actually get little cameras that would just take. It wouldn't take video, but it would take stills of the picture going up. But a lot of us dumbass kids, we'd catch lizards and send them to space. put them in that thing. But
they wonder how iguanas spread so fast in Florida. Half of them survived.
But they but the funny thing, I'm glad of this. But the lizards that came back, I mean, they were still alive, so they survived their little.
No shit.
Yeah.
God damn.
So I guess yeah, and then just imagine one of those lizards going back home. Yaka, believe the shit just happened to me today.
It's like have you seen the joke about like a fish, like he's running late for work and he gets hooked, and yeah. He gets thrown back. He's like, my boss is never going to believe that I got abducted by aliens.
Yeah. But Karla was a bit of a wild child. She always had to be doing something fun or interesting, but she wasn't really much for sleeping around or even partying. She was focused on finishing school sooner rather than later, getting married and starting a family. And she and her friends had a little clique called the Diamond Club, where they would sit around and talk about the type of diamond that their future husbands would get for them. She did date in high school, but it was never anything really serious. Deadly Innocent, Young Hype, or whatever the hell his name is, Paul Bernardo would be, was her first quote unquote real boyfriend. October of 1987, Ken met Barbie. Karla Homolka was in Scarborough at a pet food convention at a Howard Johnson's hotel.
A pet food convention.
A pet food convention.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that was. I'm sure all the gigolos were lining up for that one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, actually,
place was crawling with women.
Oh yeah. But Karla was 17, and after the festivities had ended for the night, Karla and one of her friends came down for a late night meal at the IHOP that was attached to the Howard Johnsons, as they usually are. Or they used
to be, yeah.
They were literally in pajamas, and Paul and one of his friends was also there. Paul was 23 at the time. Paul said to her, "Are those space pajamas? Because your ass is out of this world."
Are those space pajamas? Because I can see myself in them. Fuck! Never mind, I'm going to leave now.
Or, I want to put my syrup all over your flapjacks, eh? Or maybe, maybe he didn't.
Just keeps screwing him up. God damn it!
But
you know what? Fuck you, lady. And he just goes back to his room. What was that all about? I have no idea. You know that guy? No, I've never seen him before.
But, well, it wouldn't have mattered.
Punching himself in the fucking elevator. Dummy.
I'm kicking my ass. Do you mind?
What's your problem? I rejected myself.
But the attraction was instant and mutual, and they really hit it off. Why? Take a guess.
Because they were both shallow.
Well, probably, but Karla, I mean, the very first night that they went back up to the hotel room, leaving.
Oh,
and they got busy for hours and hours and hours. And Paul found out on, well, I'm not going to say day one, I'm going to say hour one, that Karla also liked it rough.
Oh, she's a freak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She liked and encourages sexual sadism.
Okay, so there's something wrong with her, right? There had to have been something in her past, I'm assuming. That was just like, hey,
I think it was just she was really enamored with Paul.
Yeah, looking for approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no word on if Paul's friend and Karla's friend hooked up. Although I did hear on a podcast after I had written these notes that that while they were like doing all their crazy shit, the two friends were in the room too.
Oh, ick.
Yeah. So Karla very quickly made up her mind that Paul was the man that she wanted to marry. And soon after, Paul popped the question at Niagara Falls.
Of course. What better place for... I almost wonder if that's like required for Canadians to get engaged there.
I don't know.
At least in Ontario. Or...
Isn't it loud? I've never been there. Isn't it loud?
It's pretty loud, yeah. Especially if you are like not up on the observation deck, but if you get down like to the railing, like right at it, it's loud. I mean, it was a 120-foot drop or something like that.
Yeah.
ADD break.
I mean,
165 to 190 feet. Yeah, it's loud as fuck.
Well,
700,000 plus gallons a second.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There's much taller waterfalls, but not with that much water coming over it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. 700,000 gallons a second.
But anyway, now we're going to back up just a little bit to the flapjacks and syrup of this dirty syrup guzzler, Paul Bernardo.
Ugh.
In my research, I found out that dirty syrup guzzler was actually a Canadian insult.
The other fun one that I've always liked is frostbacks. Because of, the connotation of the folks coming up from the southern border, and these are just northern. Yeah.
Right.
It's fun. Yeah.
But Paul was an abusive prick thanks to the stellar example set by his father. But he killed. But he hadn't killed anybody yet when he met Karla that we know of.
Right.
But when the pair did meet, he was already a serial rapist. The first rape in Scarborough that Paul was attributed to was around 1 a.m. on May 4th, 1980. That's Karla's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Yeah, May 4th, 1987, on Karla's birthday. That's obviously not too long before they met. They met in October of 87.
Wow. So it was what, just a few months, right?
Yeah. But she turned 17 that day. But the attack started in 1986 and ran until 1990. 10 rapes, 6 attempted rapes, and 3 assaults. But prior to 1987, Scarborough area had a low crime rate. But early that year, women as young as 14 began being attacked. And with each attack, the women in the area began living in fear, increasing. Yeah, and the fear level increased with each attack. But the Scarborough rapist.
The Scarborough racist lives in Maine.
The Scarborough Rapist, as Paul was known, was never positively identified. All law enforcement had to go on was a white male in his early 20s. His basic MO was to stalk women as they got off of buses or came out of buildings, wait until they were alone and attack them from behind, and the violations. Okay, violations. Yeah, that actually worked. The violence escalated with each attack.
Somebody calls the cops, and they're just like, "Okay, what do you look like?" White guy. And the cop just writes down, "White guy, Canada." Right. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah. I couldn't find any of the names of any of the victims, but like in the Wichita Massacre case, the survivors' names weren't allowed to be released due to privacy concerns.
And with them being young, I think Canada has, I'm not sure if they had it back then or not, but they had the something with minors where even if they were accused of a crime, they couldn't have their name released unless they were 18.
But none of the victims, even the ones that were over 18 aren't.
Well, that's fine.
No.
That's good. Because that way they're not just stumbling across the podcast 40 years later and having it the worst day of their life reminded of them.
Yeah, like I did to somebody with my Danny Rolling episode.
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I felt so bad about that.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't not feel bad about that. But at the same time, you didn't do it on purpose.
No, I didn't.
It doesn't make it any better.
But this puke thought he was untouchable, and it was looking like he was. I mean, he hated women, obviously, and he was taking it out on them whenever he could. Now, we're going to go a little dark here for a minute. We're just going to run through the Scarborough Rapist attacks. May 4th, 1987, the rape of a 21-year-old Scarborough woman in front of her parents' house after Bernardo had followed her home. A week later, May 14th, 1987, rape of a 19-year-old woman in the backyard of her parents' house. July 17th, attempted rape of a young woman. Although he beat the victim, Bernardo abandoned the attack when she fought back. Coward. Yeah. September 29th, 1987, attempted rape of a 15-year-old girl. Bernardo broke into the victim's home and entered her bedroom. He jumped on her back and put his hand over her mouth, threatened her with a knife, saying that he would slit her throat unless she begged for her life. And that actually became a new wrinkle in his MO, and he did that frequently during future rapes.
Awesome.
Yeah. He then punched her in the face and bit her ear. He fled when the victim's mother entered the room and screamed.
Great.
A 19-year-old man named Anthony Hainmeyer was wrongfully accused of the attack in 1989. He served 16 months in prison after pleading guilty to avoid a much longer sentence ranging from 6 to 10 years. He was exonerated after Bernardo confessed to the crime in 2006.
Jesus.
See, yeah, I can't imagine being in prison for something that I didn't do.
It happens all the
I know it
time,
does.
though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Everything that happened after this point was when Paul and Karla were together. Because remember, this was September 29th of 1987, and then they met like just
a month later.
Not even. It was like the middle of October.
And come to think of it, talking about the whole being in prison for something you never did, kind of reminded me of like the Andre Chikatilo case. I'm not sure if you've covered him yet or not.
No.
If not, like everybody knows who he is.
What's his big deal?
What's his big deal? Soft shamecock. There was like 4 dudes that were arrested for murders that he committed that were all killed. Like,
yeah.
They were just like, oh no, like the Soviet. That's the like. I guess the one thing I will give the Soviets credit for is if they have a violent criminal, they didn't waste a bunch of taxpayer money on him. They just took him out back and shot him in the head and threw him in a hole.
Right.
But yeah, like 3 or 4 dudes that just.
But then again, those long prison sentences, they do help get wrongfully convicted people acquitted.
That is
in
true.
some cases. Some
that
cases,
is true.
not every.
Just not in Soviet countries.
Right.
You cross road wrong? Fuck you.
We say you're guilty. You guilty.
Yeah. Judge says kill you, so sorry.
December.
Doing my job.
December 16th, 1987, the rape of a 15-year-old girl. Next day, the Toronto Police Service issued a warning to women in Scarborough traveling alone at night, especially those riding buses. December 23rd, 1987, the rape of a 17-year-old girl. At this point, this is around when he began to be known, when the media dubbed him the Scarborough Rapist. And keep in mind, what I'm talking now is all he was with Karla when all this happened. Yeah.
So he's obviously got more of an appetite than he's willing to.
April 18th, 1988, there was an attack on a 17-year-old girl. May 25th, 1988, Bernardo was nearly caught by a uniformed police officer staking out a bus station. Although the officer noticed him hiding under a tree and pursued him on foot, Bernardo escaped.
Jesus.
May 30th, 1988, the rape of an 18-year-old woman in Mississauga, Ontario, about 25 miles southwest of Scarborough. October 4th, 1988, there was an attempted rape in Scarborough. Although his intended victim fought him off, Bernardo he stabbed her twice in her thigh and buttock, which required 12 stitches. November 16th, 1988, there was the rape of an 18-year-old woman in the backyard of her parents' house. Using a marker, he wrote the words, "Raped by SR Rapist" on her back.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross. Like, I don't know, like, anybody out there that's around my age that grew up wrestling fans, right? Especially folks in the South. And that's not a dig at the folks in the South. It's just that's WCW country. That reminds me of like somebody get their ass whooped, and the NWO would just like fucking spray paint them. Except this is a rapist instead of Hulk Hogan, who's a racist.
And he's got a Sharpie instead of a spray can.
Yeah.
But
man, that sucks. It's like not trying to make jokes. It's just this is a horrible it's not a horrible topic. It's a horrible. It is a horrible topic.
Yeah,
but it's not that it's. And you know what I mean.
We gave you the palate cleanser before the palate.
Yeah.
So we'll have to come up with another crazy old Florida story to do after part 2 of this one.
I might be able to wrangle up some weird history shit too, to just do something fun.
Well, they seem to, the numbers don't lie. They seem to like the old Florida story.
Let me see what I can find.
It just tells me how just tells me how often people go to my back catalog. Not realizing that episode is actually a redo of a very early one. But November, I already said that. December 27th, 1988. Oh, by the way, after that girl was raped and was graffitied, that was when the dedicated task force was assigned to identify the Scarborough Rapist. December 27th, 1988, there was attempted rape with a neighbor chasing Bernardo off. He broke this woman's collarbone during the attack.
Jesus.
June 20th, an attempted rape. The young woman fought back, and her screams alerted the neighbors, although he stomped on her forearm and broke it.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. She got him, though. She got some scratches on his...
Good.
So, I guess put a knife in that. August 15th, 1989, the rape of a 22-year-old woman. November 21st, 1989, rape of a 15-year-old girl that Bernardo saw in a bus station. December 22nd, 1989, rape of a 19-year-old woman.
I have lost count at this point.
Well, it was whatever I said before I started all this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, and I'm like, we're definitely in double digits here.
Yeah, 16, 18, I think.
Oh my God!
And all of
this guy
these
sucks.
Yeah, he does. In all of these rapes and attempted rape, he would humiliate the women on top of everything else. He got off on making them tell him that they were sluts, bitches, and whores. He would also make them compliment him on how good looking he was, or he would force them to tell him that they loved him. He would even make some of them tell him that he was better than their boyfriends.
This is some borderline
Richard Ramirez
behavior.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Say hail Satan.
Yeah,
fuck you, weirdo.
I'd almost rather be forced to say that than to be forced to say that he was better than, the boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, this dude is. Yeah. This is icky. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, just when you thought you couldn't, worse than Richard Ramirez. Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, at least Richard Ramirez is most likely going to kill you. So you're not going to have to deal with it you are going to deal with it for the rest of your life. It's just a much shorter period of time.
Correct. He would attack quickly, and if you're wondering why nobody got a good look at him, it was because he would demand that they not look at him.
That's because he's so handsome.
Or he would
just
kill
blind
him.
Them,
but it was also because of his speed and overkill. He would overdo the physicality of his attacks, and this kept him more focused on what he was doing rather than trying to get a good look at him. But that finally changed. All of his previous victims he would attack from behind. And feeling bulletproof, on May 26, 1990, he saw a victim, a 19-year-old woman. He walked up to her and he started a conversation. And they walked together down the street, and when they got to a dark alley, he grabbed her and pulled her in, violently raped her. But she had gotten a good enough look at him for police to create a computerized composite sketch, which was released 2 days later and publicized in the newspapers in Toronto and surrounding areas.
A computerized composite sketch in the 80s.
1990.
Sorry, yeah, but it happened quick. That's impressive that it actually happened quickly.
Yeah,
because forensically, nothing seems to happen.
Well, not only that. Look at the video game technology they had back then.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but it was, you would think that. I don't know. Maybe it was computer enhanced. The drawing that was computer enhanced or something. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, being a game nerd, I will go back still and play a lot of that old stuff from the late 80s, early 90s. Fucking Tecmo Super Bowl, RBI Baseball. Those still hold up. Those still hold up, man.
Oh yeah.
And I will tell
I can't say it enough. Come at me at Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You cannot beat me in
but
Street Fighter. Nobody
the
can.
thing was, for me, Street Fighter was not an option really because that was an arcade game. And we like the arcade that we had here. I was a kid when when the first one closed, and
Right.
but like console stuff, like a lot of that still holds up. I mean, Tecmo Bowl. I would bet a paycheck that I could beat anybody listening to this if I get the San Francisco 49ers.
I imagine anybody probably could with the San Francisco 49ers.
It was the best fucking team in the game, though. Oh my
Yeah.
God, they were good.
But so police began questioning men who looked like the photo, including Paul. And I imagine that they got quite a few calls from women that he had actually dated. Paul at the time was living with his wonderful, loving parents, and he admitted that all the sketch did look like him, but it sure as hell wasn't him.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
They even asked for a DNA sample, and Paul agreed to it.
They said this guy's a rapist. Do I look like a rapist? Yes, Paul, you do. Oh shit.
DNA science wasn't what it is today,
Oh,
obviously.
No.
So Paul's sample sat on a shelf for years, and he was released. This sweet, deadly, innocent boy couldn't possibly be the big, bad Scarborough rapist, even though his neighbors told police that composite sketch was a dead ringer for Paul. It's like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
But
It's like, did you ever watch The Office?
I've seen a handful of episodes.
There's an episode of The Office where one of the women gets flashed in the parking lot. So Jim helps Pam draw up a like a composite sketch of the flasher and makes it look exactly like Dwight, but with like a little tiny mustache. And at the end, they're like, Dwight, we just saw the flasher. He was in the women's bathroom. He goes, I'll get him. And he goes in there and he's like looking around and there's nobody. And he looks at the mirror and there's like the tiny little mustache drawn on the mirror. And he takes his glasses off and looks at it. And it lines up perfectly. And he just like flips out.
I'm reminded of the flashing scene in Porky's.
Oh,
Could you describe? Oh boy. But obviously that was a blunder, but it was just the first of several blunders, and there was one that was really, really, really bad, but we'll just put a knife in that. But releasing the composite was a good thing, though. One, because there was finally a description, and this is the last of the Scarborough rapes. And two, because this attack was so violent, police were sure that his next victim would be found dead, and they weren't wrong.
we can't catch him, but we're pretty sure he's going to start killing people.
Well,
oh boy.
But still, the composite, they've got people to look for, and at this point they're like, okay, well, this last one, he was his most violent yet. He's going to start killing somebody. So they got to amp up the task force, and so. But Paul then moved in with Karla and her family in St. Catharines, and the rapes in Scarborough were mysteriously stopped.
Huh.
Imagine
it's almost
that.
like the rapist moved to a different town.
Yeah, could have.
Huh. Weird.
Meanwhile, Paul was planning. He was obviously addicted to raping. He hated women, but he decided that he couldn't leave a victim alive.
Nope, not again. Got too close that time.
Yeah. One thing they did realize was the fact that because Karla worked at a vet, she could get him tranquilizers.
Sweet. Gonna start K-holing people here? Great.
And since Karla was all on board with Paul's sexual sadism, and Paul knew it, he started saying that he needed more fun to keep him from getting bored. He wanted a virgin.
What?
And he decided that since Karla wasn't a virgin when they got married, she owed him a virgin to deflower.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And like the thing that I hate here is I know this story, but the details still,
I know.
like,
It's just like
so fucking gross.
But if you think about it, that mindset is very, very
owe me.
old.
Ugh.
It goes way back to like the medieval ages when arranged marriages. You got a man that flips out because this 17-year-old girl that her parents sold to you for a cow isn't a virgin.
I mean, arranged marriages are still a thing.
Well, yeah, but they would flip out over that and everything, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty gross, man.
pretty stupid. And it's just like, oh, she's not a virgin. Well, neither are you. So
doesn't matter if I am or not.
I'll say you've just ruined somebody else's future wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but the lucky lady that he chose, take a guess.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was her sister, wasn't it?
It was Tammy Homolka, Karla's 15-year-old sister. But it wasn't much of a surprise, though, because Paul had been staring at Tammy and talking about what he'd like to do to her since Karla introduced him to the family.
God damn, that's so gross.
Paul even made Karla pretend to be Tammy when they had sex.
Oh.
He even made Karla have sex with him in Tammy's bed. He even jerked off next to the bed as Tammy slept.
Oh, God.
And what the fuck were the parents doing, you know?
They didn't care. They're just like, as long as they're being quiet, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Like Bill Cosby said, parents don't care about fair. They just want quiet. I hate that his comedy.
Speaking of rapists,
yeah, right. I hate that his comedy holds up.
Yeah,
because it really does. But finally, Karla agreed to let Paul rape Tammy. She told him that she was she was giving her to him as a gift. So in September of 1990, Karla came home from her job at the vet with a bottle of halothane to sedate Tammy, and while this couple from hell did their thing with her. And of course, Paul was ecstatic. They were ready, and one night they fed Tammy alcohol mixed with sleeping pills, and Tammy fell asleep. Karla then put a rag with halothane on it to her face, and
damn. Oh, I thought this was like a pill of some sort. No, she's like...
Yeah, like chloroform.
Gassing her out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But but once she was out, they undressed her, and Paul started to rape her, but she stirred, so they called it off. That would change, though. On Christmas Eve, 1990, Tammy was alone in the house's basement with Paul and Karla. After a Christmas party, the parents and Karla's sister, Lori, were upstairs asleep. But Karla and Paul were letting her drink as much alcohol as she wanted. They were taking turns filming everything. And finally, when Tammy was good and drunk, Karla poured some halothane onto a rag and attacked Tammy from behind, pushing the rag over Tammy's mouth and nose. Paul then raped her repeatedly, and Karla even held the rag over her nose so that she wouldn't wake up during the ordeal.
Awesome.
They then switched places at Paul's command, and Karla raped her own sister while Paul filmed and held the rag over Tammy's face.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that part beforehand, to be completely honest. And that's icky. That's a very poor decision to make.
One of many. But this is probably... Well... Also in this video, Paul repeatedly asked Tammy how she's feeling, and before the attack happened, Paul would repeatedly attack... okay, I'm just going to start that whole paragraph over again.
Sure.
Earlier in the video, before the attack happened, Paul was repeatedly asking Tammy how she was feeling, and she would say things like she's feeling woozy and she was seeing double and stuff like that. Yeah. But During the rape, Tammy vomited while unconscious. Paul and Karla were a lot of things, but lifesaver was not one of them. They tried to revive her. They tried CPR, but she was gone. So what did they do? Take a guess.
They rolled her up on a carpet or something, and
Nah.
no.
They dressed her in pajamas and tucked her into bed, then called an ambulance. When the ambulance got there, Paul was putting on a show worthy of Tommy Wiseau in the movie The Room, telling Lisa that she was tearing him apart.
Quite the actor.
Yeah, he was running around beating his head on the wall, yelling, "Why is this happening? Why? Why? Why?" Like,
because you raped her to death,
yeah.
Paul.
But it was treated...
These are the consequences of your actions,
correct.
sir.
Well, but why? I'm deadly innocent.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy. I hate him. I hate him, Bill.
I hate him too. Unfortunately, this was treated like an accident. A teenager who drank way too much and choked on her own vomit. But there were what appeared to be chemical burns around Tammy's mouth and nose. And several EMTs and police officers said that did bother them, but they didn't report it because one of them thought that she had been, quote, freebasing cocaine.
Like Richard Pryor.
Yeah, a stimulant. A stimulant.
Yeah.
Nobody ever passed out like asleep with cocaine.
No, I mean I've freebased alcoholic beverages before and passed out from it. I've never dabbled in cocaine because I know that I have an addictive personality, and I knew that if I ever tried that, I'd probably have a huge problem. So
yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm too old to try it.
Do you remember those DARE drug abuse resistance education?
Hell yeah. That created more drug addicts than it prevented.
Well, there's a punk band that I have been that I was actually in for. Well, I've played a few shows as a member of the band, but they're called Scurvy the Clown, and they're great comedy punk band. But they released these stickers that was the black stickers with the same font that DARE was on those, and it said, "DARE, drugs are really expensive."
Yeah, that is fair.
And you know what? I think that would have probably had more of a positive effect than the drug abuse resistance education. Yeah. Drugs are really expensive.
Yeah.
Anyway, hashtag but I digress.
Even the ones that are legal are expensive.
Right. Yeah, this is true.
You know.
But Leslie was pronounced dead at the hospital. 2 weeks later, in January, Karla and Paul filmed a video of them in the Homolka house discussing things. They were reminiscing. It started in the basement, then it moved to Tammy's room. Karla admitted on camera that she actually enjoyed the rape of her sister and that she wanted to leave a rose at the grave.
Ugh.
Karla then, dressed in Tammy's clothes, acted like her, and they had sex on Tammy's bed.
So gross. I'm going to go take a shower when we're done with this. This is...
Yeah, me too. But God. Also during January, likely when this video was filmed, they had kidnapped and held a sex slave for about a week, but they released her. She had no clue who they were, and she came up during trial on one of the videos that was shown in court. They never knew her name and referred to her as January Girl. It's like Henry Lee Lucas with the Orange Sock Girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who was it that
Henry Lee Lucas died recently, I heard.
Oh, no. Anyway.
Later, forensics would show that Tammy was given a fatal dose of halothane, and that was what caused the chemical burns on Tammy's face. And in other news, the sky is blue and water is wet.
Yeah. Paul is a rapist.
Paul and Karla were supposed to get married after, and Paul they wanted a grand and lavish wedding, but Karla's parents broke the bank paying for Tammy's funeral, and Tammy was and Karla was actually getting butthurt over this. I mean, she's dead. She's actually on camera saying shit like that, just being all butthurt.
Oh my God.
But neither of them were acting like they had lost a beloved family member.
No, because they didn't care.
Yeah, Karla even wrote in her diary that she was mad at her parents for scaling back the money for the wedding, calling them selfish. Let's see, Karla, if you want to have an expensive wedding that your parents are going to pay for, I don't know, maybe don't kill your sister?
Yeah, maybe don't do that. Or just in general, maybe don't kill your sister.
Yeah. But Paul and Karla moved out of the Homolka house and into their own place. And Paul was making good money at the time running Canadian cigarettes into the U.S. And I didn't know that there was a market for Canadian cigarettes, but he was making about $15,000 a month doing it.
There is, oh my God, is it season 5 or 6 of Trailer Park Boys? That is their big scheme through the entire thing, is smuggling cigarettes across the border with a fucking remote-controlled train.
Really?
That is their whole big scheme. Yeah. Actually, a guy that I used to work for, his uncle got popped by the feds and served like 25 years for smuggling cigarettes from Canada into the U.S.
I mean, you would think that it would be, like the other way around. Well, I mean, like you could buy a bunch of cigarettes in the South and then go up to Boston and New York and sell them there.
Yeah.
Make a killing.
You'd make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you can go down to like Tennessee and buy a carton of cigarettes for $50.
Yeah.
And then you're selling them for $10, $11 a pack up here.
So there really is a market for Canadian cigarettes in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's I don't know if it's so much the particular cigarettes or if it's just because they were cheaper there than they were here at the time. I don't remember, but that History Goon episode.
No, the more you know.
Actually, maybe I could whip something up as a true crime history episode for a future episode of crimes, killers, cults, and beer. I was waiting for that.
I had just uploaded The More You Know sound, and apparently... Do you hear anything?
Nope.
I don't either.
Nope.
Oh, well. That kind of backfired. I was glad that you were explaining it and everything, because I found it, and I go to upload it, and there's nothing there. Whatever.
No worries.
But Paul had other failed scams as well, like trying to be a paid minister and even a motivational speaker. And he'd just take bits and pieces from other speakers' presentations and pass them off as his. I mean, he never had an original thought in his entire life.
This guy just ran like Tony Robbins through ChatGPT.
Yeah, pretty much.
Make him sound more Canadian. Go.
But Paul then went on a bit of a cooling off period that we know of. But all things must come to an end. Like this episode.
Oh, fucking cliffhanger. I love it.
But we'll pick it up next week with Paul and Karla's other 2 murders, the investigation, the trial, and all the screw-ups in said trial. And we'll also get into Paul's aspirations as a rapper. So we'll have all of that coming in part 2 of the Ken and Barbie killers.
Yep.
Paul, Bernardo, and Karla Homolka, who is not dating Luca Magnotta.
No. And these episodes drop on Mondays, correct?
I drop them Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the time we wrap this series up, I will be wrapping up my 2nd season of the show.
Oh, cool.
It'll drop that Monday, that same day as this one, as the 2nd one. I'm sorry.
Cool. Well, I probably won't get this one. This one might be Monday, maybe even Tuesday, because, like I said, I have to, I'm relocating. Well, I'm relocating my my studio to a bigger room in the house because
Yeah.
what you see in this camera angle is there's not much more to this room. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of our listeners have closets bigger than this room.
I get that.
So, and it's just I knocked a guitar the other day just by backing up
Yeah,
in my
that's not
chair.
good.
So yeah,
That's not good.
I need to yeah, and we have a bigger room that we're not using, so we're gonna turn that into this room and this will be the room that we're not using. So
Yeah, may as well, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you got the space.
yep. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate the hell out of it. Please like, subscribe, follow the YouTube page, comment, or whatever you do, whatever streaming platform you use, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, whatever, Amazon. Do that for CKCB. Do that for History Goon, which is an
sir.
amazing, awesome frickin' history podcast, the best one of the entire internet.
You know what? You're not wrong. It's pretty good. I'll give you credit. It's pretty good.
It's the best one that I listen to.
For me, it's probably like going on just history stuff. I'd say probably top 5 for ones I actually listen to.
And also be sure to 5-star ratings. And by the way, I meant to do this episode, but I forgot. We've gotten a couple comments, positive comments lately, but over the past week or two. And
Ooh.
so what I'm going to start doing is if you leave a comment on any of our socials or YouTube or whatever, I'm going to read it along with your name and give you a shout out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What are you doing?
So I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I'm listening to everything you were saying.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at it. It got really bright on your. For those listening on audio, it got really bright on his camera, and he's got this goofy ass shit-eating grin. It looks like, honestly, it looked like in a movie when God appears to somebody.
Okay, so I'm trying to like roadmap a few episodes in the future here. And I'm going through my master list.
See what he does. I'm reading a script and everything. He's planning the next episode on History Goon. So I mean, you see how dedicated he is.
I am. I'm here, aren't I?
No, I bet to your podcast.
Oh, well, both, yes.
Yes.
So I'm like just kind of poking around through my master list. I've got like 500 things on there, and I'm like, what the hell is this one? Because I forgot what it is, and I popped it into Google. And the term "executed by sledgehammer strikes breaking their chest" popped up, and I went, what? So now I'm going down a rabbit hole. Holy shit.
Oh, anyway, be sure to leave 5-star ratings and comment, and especially if you want a shout out on the show. All it costs is a comment, a nice comment. Yeah. And because word of mouth is what helps grow the show the most and whatnot. And so if you like us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell an enemy. And until next week, later.
Okay, love you, bye.